How do interest rates impact your Shell 80-point BRP pension? Hey guys, Nick Johnson here with Willis Johnson Associates. And if you had a long career at Shell, you're a high income earner, I want to educate you on how you should be optimizing one of your biggest benefits, your 80-point benefit restoration plan pension. So first off, what's a non-qualified plan? Because your 80-point BRP is a non-qualified plan. A non-qualified plan is when you earn too much money that Shell wants to give you a benefit, but they can't put it in a standard plan. As an example, there's two plans Shell has BRPs for, or non-qualified plans for. Your Provident Fund, your 401k, and your pension. If you start earning too much money in a given year, Shell can no longer contribute at some point to these plans, so they start putting money into your Provident Fund BRP or your pension BRP instead. And these can get significant, right? The size of the Provident Fund BRP, if Shell's contributing that 10% over and above a certain dollar amount, and then you're growing and investing it each year, or the pension BRP, these can get quite large. Here's an example where a pension BRP is over $2.1 million for someone that's a high income earner that's had a long career at Shell. Now, the thing about these benefits is you really have to understand how the lump sum is calculated to determine how you want to optimize it. Okay? And if you think about the pension, the standard benefit's an annuity, right? The 80-point pension pays out as a monthly annuity. But the 80-point BRP is a lump sum. So how do we get the lump sum? Simplistically, the formula is the sum of all future expected pension payments divided by interest rates, right? We sum all those pensions up, we divide it by an interest rate factor, and that's going to get us the lump sum value. So the thing that's important to understand here, and this is what we're actually trying to do when we optimize when we retire to get the biggest 80-point pension BRP, is if interest rates go up, the lump sum value goes down. And if interest rates go down, the lump sum value goes up. So we can choose to retire in a situation where we get a lower interest rate factor, means you're going to get a larger 80-point pension BRP plan. So let's walk through an example. Let's say you retired at the end of November 2023. They always calculate your pension BRP the first of the month after retirement. Now, it's generally paid out 90 days later, but it's calculated as of the first of the month after retirement, in this case, December 1. When you calculate it, you use the September segment rates. At Shell, they always use the September segment rates to calculate the 80-point pension BRP, and they use it from the prior year, right? So prior year's September segment rates. Pensions calculated December 1, 2023. We use September 2022 interest rates, okay? But if we retire 30 days later, in late December, the pension's calculated the following year, the first of the month after retirement, in this case, January 1, 2024, and we're going to use the prior year segment rates. I think you see where I'm going here. September of 2023's segment rates to calculate the 80-point pension lump sum. Did you catch on? We're using segment rates from a year later. So retiring 30 days difference can be a massive difference in interest rates, especially in a time period where the Fed is raising rates to fight inflation, and can be a really big difference in lump sum value. Here, the lump sum is a difference of over $140,000 just by waiting 30 days to retire. So if we know interest rates are heading up, we definitely want to get last year's interest rates. We know if interest rates are heading down, we may actually consider waiting to retire to get this year's interest rates. So understanding what has happened to interest rates recently and where they're going are really important to optimizing and getting the most out of your 80-point pension BRP. And this is something that we help our clients think about as we educate them on their benefits and help them time when is the best time to retire so you don't leave any money on the table. If you enjoyed today's concept, Check out our Shell Timing Retirement webinar in the description, and make sure to follow us for great educational content on how you should be optimizing your Shell benefits.